G'day, this is Vineet, and in this course we will learn how to build the bookstore application using Angular and Entity Framework on top of ABP Framework 4 based on .NET 5. Let's open the Windows Explorer and navigate to the folder where we will create the Angular startup solution using the ABP CLI. We'll open the Windows terminal and ensure that the ABP CLI is up to date by running .NET tool update -g volo.abp.cli. We will now run the command abp new acme.bookstore-u angular-csf. This will create our ABP web application and its relevant folders. If we open up the acme.bookstore folder, we can see that there are two folders, namely being Angular and ASP.NET-Core. The Angular folder contains the presentation layer based on the Angular UI. The ASP.NET-Core folder contains the Visual Studio solution, which contains the application, domain, database, and API projects, which have the HTTP API endpoints. Let's open up the solution in Visual Studio and see what it compromises of. You'll see that the solution template provides a layered application structure based on the domain-driven design (DDD) practices. Based on the options we've specified, the solution template uses Angular for its UI framework and Entity Framework Core as its database provider. Projects are organized in the SRC and test folders. The SRC folder contains the actual application, which is layered based on the DDD principles as mentioned before. The test folder consists of the integration tests. For now, we will run the solution as is. Let's check the connection string. We can see that the solution is using the database name Bookstore. We will change this to Bookstore-4-0-2-Angular and change the database server with localhost. We will also change the connection string in the host project with the same database name and server so our endpoints can talk to the application layer to get and post data from our presentation layer. Since this solution is using the Entity Framework Core as its database provider, we need to have an MS SQL Server or SQL Server Express installed on our development computer. You will notice that this solution has a DB migrator project. Let's set this project as a startup project and run the solution. This has opened up a command prompt which has applied migrations and also has seeded the initial data into the database. The project is very useful in both development and production environments. Finally, it's time to run the application. Because this is an Angular solution, we need to run the host project first, and then the Angular project. The Angular project uses the API to retrieve data using the HTTP endpoints. Now that the host project is running, we will open up the Angular folder in Visual Studio Code. We will then click on the Terminal menu and select the new Terminal menu item. We will navigate to the Angular folder and run the command yarn to install the npm packages. Finally, we will run the command yarn start to run the application. We will see the login page of the ABP Framework Startup template. We'll log in using admin and 1Q2W3E* to ensure that the application is working. There we go. We have a running ABP Framework Startup template working and running in our browser using Angular and Entity Framework. In this lesson, we have created the startup solution and ensured that we can run the ABP Framework Angular Startup template. Join me in the next lesson to create the server side.